let's talk about the 9 that you sublease. So exactly what does that mean? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I always tell people when they're like, there's really 2 strategies that I look at, right? The first is to invest for cash flow. And this is a really good strategy for people that are getting started, like 9-to-5ers who want to replace their 9-to-5. They want to get into their first deal. It's their first rodeo. They don't have the capital to put 15-20% down plus closing costs, furniture, appliances, decor, supplies. So the best way to start there is subleasing, right? It's where they rent a property, they pay the first month, the deposit, just like in a normal lease. They get permission to operate the property as a short-term rental in writing, right? Because all lease agreements say no subleasing, but we simply talk to them about the business model and why this is actually a better opportunity. And so then imagine you're renting a property for $2,000 a month. If you're charging $200 a night, at 10 days you break even, at 20 days you double, and at 30 days you triple. And there's a lot of pricing automation softwares like Beyond Pricing. They look at airlines, hotels, and events, and they basically adjust based on supply and demand, and they only charge like 1%. So this is how we are able to maximize, the revenue. And so this strategy allows people to get started and strictly invest for cash flow. Obviously, they don't get appreciation, no depreciation, no mortgage paid down, but they get the cash flow. They get to replace their 9-to-5. Once they have like 3 to 5 of those and they're really accelerating their capital, then I tell them now start buying property so you can get the appreciation and create wealth.
That's a really good strategy.
So if somebody's going to let you sublease their property, for one, how hard is it to find people that will do that?
It is challenging, right? It's not like you call a landlord and they say yes. You might get a yes like 20-30% of the time, but whether you're flipping, wholesaling, acquiring, doing multifamily syndication,
it's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all a sales game. It's all a numbers game. And that's what I tell people is like 100% of the people that never do their first deal never do their second deal. So just get your foot in the door. Be persistent. Once you get that first one, it's not even about how much money you make, but it's about who you become in the process, because now it became real. You did it. Now just rinse and repeat.
For the maintenance stuff, if somebody lets you do a short-term rental, do you handle that? Because obviously you're going to have more maintenance, more issues.
So we have like on call, usually 2 maintenance people that are available, right? Just like any handyman. And if anything happens, if there's a small leak or any repairs, we want to handle it the same day between the window of 10 and 3, which is checkout and the new guest checking in. That way we can provide a 5-star experience for the next guest. So we'll handle it. If it's something that the guest created, like any damage, we'll obviously charge them just like a hotel would. And if it has something to do with just the property's wear and tear, then the owner would be responsible.
So let's talk about how you transitioned over to the student coaching side of things.
Really teaching other people. Like when I hear people going from full-time to part-time, or the husband quits or the wife quits and they can spend more time with each other, they can volunteer for their kids' soccer program, like whatever it is, like that is like so fulfilling. And I feel like when my body leaves this earth, like that's what's going to be left behind was the impact, the dent, the impact that I left in other people's lives. Like most of our students, probably 95% are coming into like sublease. That's like the shiny opportunity. There are like sublease arbitrage, right? Being able to, create financial freedom fast. But we do like a lot of mindset. So like we have 6 coaching calls a week, Monday through Saturday. And we have coaches, like people that started as students. Once they created multiple six-figure businesses, they became coaches. So Mondays is like a mindset coaching call only. And I remember I heard one time from a mentor, like sell them what they want, but give them what they need. And so people come just to create, financial freedom, but we give them so much more because it's really personal development, who they become in the process, all the mindset. So we do a lot of mindset work on those Monday coaching calls to make sure that we can help them attract abundance, right? Because like Jim Rohn said, success is not something that you chase. It's something you attract by who you become.
A little bit different than my market, but the more the long-term multifamily market. But yours is really competing against tourism.
Tourism,
right?
Hotels.
Right,
Absolutely.
and hotels. So that's part of your coaching is, where you're going to be and what are you going to do. What are some of the kind of the hottest areas that you see? I mean, people are moving all over the place, right? Work from home, of course, is one thing, but also they're just flat out moving. So, and we're seeing certain areas bulge and other areas not. So, what are you seeing now? Well, you got 1,000 students, and what are they seeing?
So it's usually like the big states, right? Like California, Texas, Arizona, Florida. Like these are some of probably like the 4 best states, I would say. So we do like a lot of marketing in those areas to bring in students. And this is where, yes, rents could be 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, but those are the properties doing 8, 15K a month. So it's some of those bigger states with a big population, a lot of tourism. I mean, Arizona is like really hot. One of our head coaches lives here, and they've got like 15 Airbnbs here that they're either own, sublease, or managing for other people. So this is a gold mine here.
So let's talk about the time.
The time.
Most people are working and they're trying to figure out maybe they're working 50, 60 hours. Can they still do this?
Yeah. So where it takes the most amount of time is in the actual launching. To get furniture, appliances, decor, supplies, pictures for like a property of that size, like it would easily take like 5 days with like 2 or 3 people like working on it.
Okay.
A lot of assembling. It's a lot of time. So when people are just getting started, for the most part, they launch it themselves. So I would hire out a manager that could literally launch the whole thing for you. And that's what I do. Every time I focus on the acquisition, whether it's a purchase, a sublease, and then I hire somebody that literally puts a Excel list of all the furniture, appliances, decor. They order it, they coordinate everything going in from Amazon. They oversee the team that's setting up everything physically, all the way to creating the listing on Airbnb, coordinating the pictures, like literally start to finish. Most of the time I look at the property, but we have some that we've never even seen. We've just done everything virtually by hiring somebody in those cities. So depending on how much time the value of their time will dictate whether they do it themselves or if they hire somebody to launch it.
Yeah. Let's talk about reviews and occupancy because and rate. There's a direct correlation between all of those things. And I think a lot of times people that are inexperienced, are oblivious to that, like how important all of those things are. How do you manage occupancy rates and reviews? Because that kind of attracts, more occupancy.
Yeah, so let's start with the rate. Typically what we do is we take the desired revenue, which is double whatever we rent or double whatever the mortgage is. So if the mortgage or rent is $3,000 and our goal is to make $6,000, we'll divide that by 20 days. We want to be able to double our numbers at a 66% occupancy so that there's enough space to be able to triple, right? On the review side, I've learned that it's not so much when things don't go exactly as the guest wanted to, but it's like, how long does it take you to fix it? So let's say that the guests show up and they put in the code into the keyless entry and the battery died and it's not wired and now they can't get in, but they call you and then you send someone and someone's there in like 8 minutes or 10 minutes. They're like, okay, cool. Like someone got here, they handled it. It's when you take 2 hours to get there and they're tired. So a lot of reviews, it's just about really creating solutions as fast as possible. So one of our KPIs for our communication coordinators is responding within 3 minutes to all inquiries. And that's why we usually will hire somebody in Mexico for like a 12-hour shift and then the other 12 hours somebody in the Philippines. So when it's daytime there, it's nighttime here. And we can provide like 24-hour customer service.
Good for you. Yeah, it's well thought through. Those are really important things. So I was going to ask, what are some other secrets, Airbnb secrets? Without giving away too much, I know you got a secret sauce.
I got a really good one. And I feel like some people are talking about the economy and a potential this, potential that, and what would happen to tourism. And so one of the things that we've done, is by focusing on the right properties and the right location with the right amount of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, amenities, location, we really try to make our properties the most marketable properties in the area. And by doing so, we attract a lot of nurses who book for weeks and months at a time. There's government bookings. Like I've had the governments book families who are on like political asylum and they pay like 45 days, 2 months, 3 months, top dollar, no discounts. They just book it right now. I have a family staying at one of our properties that got booked through an insurance company, a relocation company, and they paid $37,000 for 4 months, right? It's an average of $9,500 a month. My mortgage on that one is $2,800. So I got a 3.5 what the mortgage is, and there's no cleaning. There's nothing to do. It's 122 days bookings, right? So yeah, insurance, corporate bookings, nurses. And by making your properties the most marketable, the best properties in the area, they book through Airbnb. You don't have to do any marketing. I don't do any ads. I don't contact these companies. They just book through the Airbnb platform. So this is a little bit of like a recession-proof strategy where you're not just relying on tourism because they much rather stay in a home. A lot of our properties have pools, jacuzzis, game rooms. We want to be able to create a staycation experience where they have a great experience in the home without needing to leave the home. And when you do that, you attract all these types of bookings.